Hi there, I'm going to quickly demonstrate how to make masks out of shop towels. My previous video explained a little bit about some different techniques that I tried for shop towels, and I wanted to pop on here really quick and show you the latest method that I'm using. So this one has electrical tape. I've made a couple of other models. This one has duct tape. The basic idea is to use what you have. So we have our shop towel here. I'm going to tear one off. This does rip, so don't be super aggressive. Don't let out all your aggression on the shop towel. We're going to use it lengthwise and just lay it down on our workspace. I have 2 pieces of electrical tape that I've already cut to the width of the paper. Again, you can use duct tape. You could even try Scotch tape. It doesn't work great. I would definitely recommend a packing tape or electrical tape. Scotch tape is not great. Here's an unfolded nose clip. This is the smaller size nose clip. The smaller size paper clip that we're going to use for the nose clip. And you can be creative with what you use. You're just looking for something metal that is bendable and pinches around your nose. I also found these lovely little twist ties. These are generally used for little like gift bags of dark chocolate, which I don't need because I already ate my dark chocolate. And I like layering them. It depends on what kind of twist ties you're using. I found that 4 of this particular style of twist tie layered all for the same mask gives me the bend and the strength that I'm looking for. But again, the whole idea of this is just to use what you have in your house and not go out for something else. So I found some old elastic for the ear loops. I'm just gonna tie these in a very simple knot. I'm sure if I wanted to put more time into it, I could learn how to do a slip knot so I could have it adjusted, but I am just me, myself, and I in my casa. And so I generally know how big my ears are, and I've done a little bit of measuring. This one just happens to be about the height of the paper towel, or the shop towel, I should say, if you're looking for a rough guideline, but you can use whatever you have in your house. Really anything. Old ribbons from gifts, hair ties. My first one that I made has this one right here. This one is my favorite. These little ponytail holders. There's a couple of other designs too. This one I tried doing just a very quick and cheap experiment. This one has the rubber bands, and this was just fan folded together, like accordion folded and then clipped on. There's a new design floating around the web, which is actually pretty ingenious. So these are 3 of the more lightweight rubber bands, and they're just looped together. There's 3 of them. So a friend found this video that showed where this rubber band, the middle one, once you put the mask on, I'm not going to demonstrate because it's probably a little bit awkward to do without looking in a mirror. So this goes under your chin, this part of the elastic band, and this one goes over your nose. And then these ones actually go behind your ears as well. And the whole idea behind this is to hold it tight to your face. Kind of ingenious, and it's a really good move. You could also use this type of a design on top of the mask that I'm about to show you how to make. But anyway, back to our mask. So we have all of our work materials down. We have our nose piece. We're going to put it at the top of the fabric, and then we're going to tape that down with the electrical tape. Super easy. I like reinforcing the masks just because I think it's a really good idea to conserve resources. And so I'm going to strengthen and reinforce the edges by using a little bit of tape. If you don't have tape or you need to preserve your tape to tape the nose pieces in, you do you. It's completely fine. I estimate that these will probably last me a good couple of days. I'm pretty gentle and I'm not going outside. I am using them if I have to go take out the trash because I live in an apartment building. And this would only be used if I have to go out for an emergency or something like that to go to work. But I am staying home. Again, we're using stuff that is sourced. All right, so the next step, we have our nose piece on top here. We want to make sure that the nose piece ends up on the top fold, and that we are folding so that all of our folds are facing down. So this is a nose piece. All the folds are facing downward. That's kind of the direction that our nose runs. So it's just a little bit easier. All right, so I'm literally going to super easily fan fold this back and forth. Not super complicated. I am bringing into bear all of my waitressing skills. I actually have some mad napkin folding talents. Maybe that will be one day on another video. Okay, so super easy accordion fan fold, right? So now I want to get a little bit fancy here. I like to have the mask. Let me pull another demo for you. This one actually has the nose piece up top. I was doing a little bit of experimentation. So I like to have the folds layered on top of each other just a bit. I find when you wear it, it makes it a little bit easier for them to spread out when you put it on, rather than just a straight up accordion. So the easiest way that I've found to do that is literally just by wiggling out each little fold that you made. And this is by no means perfect. You're making 1,000 of these, you're eyeballing them. I don't have time to measure every single one. Okay, so you can see how it used to be accordion fan folded, and it's not perfect, but it is perfect enough for what we're working on right now. And so we've just made a little bit of distance here. All right, so I found a clipboard I happen to have, and I'm using it as my second hand here. I should say third hand because I'm very blessed to have 2 hands. All right, so I'm gonna use a little bit of duct tape to reinforce the ends. I'm gonna cut it just to the width of the mask, give or take. And I will tell you, this will totally gunk up your scissors when you're cutting duct tape. I don't have the time or the patience to be ripping, how many pieces would that be? 2,000 pieces of duct tape. So I'm using my scissors. I've already had to wash them and scrub them once. Okay, so we have this end duct taped, super easy. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. Take another piece of duct tape. And again, you can make these as simple or as complicated as you want. The whole idea is that I don't have an endless supply of these towels, and so I want to make them last. All right, so we're going to tape up the other end. We're putting only a little bit of the tape. See how just a little bit of the tape on that side? We're saving the rest of the tape for the side that's going to be on the outside. So this part is going to end up on the outside facing the world, and this is going to be next to my face. All right, so the whole idea behind this is that I'm going to put the ear loops in this part, loop it over. I like to use a ruler just so I can be a little bit more precise. It just helps because the duct tape is a little bit thick. So I'm going to fold that over. See how I created just a little bit of a loop right here? And then I'm going to slide whatever I have, and I've made it so it can flow freely, which I think that's kind of fancy. I have been using this clipboard to hold one end of the rubber in while I do the stapling. I just feel like it makes it a little bit easier. But for the purpose of my camera, which I'm filming by myself because I live alone and we are staying safe at home, right? So I'm gonna do that for you here. All right, so I've literally made a pocket here by staples. The outside of the staples is outside to the world because you don't want to get scratched. If you want to get super fancy, put another strip of tape on here just to cover it. I do like layering these under a cloth mask or an improvised mask, like a scarf or a bandana. And if I'm doing that, I'll definitely put another layer of tape on top of those staple ends, just so that they don't catch on the fabric and rip it. Don't want that. All right, so just throwing a couple staples in. It's actually stapling really easily. This is a normal stapler. All right, boom, voila, super easy, right? Okay, so this is the outside. You can see how this part with the nose piece ended up on top, and then it just kind of unfolds like that. So the way you can Google how to put masks on properly, but the way I do it, loop over one ear, put it over your face, loop over the other ear, and then pull it up, spread it out, and then obviously pinch the nose piece so it conforms to your face. It should be as tight as possible, and again, I'll post the link to how to make this. Super genius idea, but you could absolutely layer one of these tri-fold rubber bands over the top of it if you want to ensure that it is absolutely tight to your face. One little quick test. This is not scientific at all. I'm not a scientist and I am not a doctor, but one quick test when I was doing some of these mask experiments is when I put my sunglasses on and I was breathing, if the lenses clouded up, then I knew that it absolutely was not airtight. Very, very not scientific. But the whole goal is to keep our germs inside to us. And if the whole world does that, we will definitely help make a difference. Again, this does not in any way take away from the fact that we have to be socially distancing and staying at home, except for frontline workers. The whole idea of this is that we are keeping our PPE for our medical professionals, to whom we owe a million debts of gratitude, our law enforcement folks who are out on the front line, our supply chain people, all those folks who are keeping us safe and fed and healthy and responding to the current COVID crisis. So this is a makeshift PPE. I make no claims for it, but it is what I found readily available. And when you have to make 1,000 of these, it seems to be what works. So that is one idea, but feel free to experiment. Please post your ideas and suggestions in the comment box below. And as I continue making these, we'll keep refining them. Thank you so much, and be safe and healthy.